What is up, YouTube? This is Psychedelic Sizzler, and I am here with my Week 4 battle of the LSD versus Josh. Josh stepped in late as a replacement for Tort, who just dropped, and that's why this battle is late, because he dropped right at the end of the week, so he had to have some time to catch up. But we are here, and this is why I didn't record a separate team builder video, because it is late, and I just want to get this out so we can catch up on uploads. So, looking... I don't even want to go over necessarily his whole team. I'm just trying to get this done. We don't want to watch a 40-minute video. So this team basically is built around Trick Room. It's got Trick Room Rashana here, as you can see. They can set up Trick Room on pretty much his entire team, and that is supported by a Mega Camerupt that can two-hit KO his entire team if predicted right. Rotom, this is a good defensive answer for his team. I did kind of forget to go over some of the mods on his team, but some really important ones is he has a Landorus Eye, Sand Force, not Sheer Force. He's got a Tapu Fini that's hard to break. He's got a Scolipede. Stakataka is actually one of the biggest threats to this team just because I am running Trick Room, but I don't expect him to bring Stakataka, and that's why I'm confident running it. Rotom is my Stakataka switch-in, and I didn't need Leaf Storm this week because it didn't help me at all. In fact, it only put me in worse positions by lowering my special attack, so we just have dual electric, HP Ice, and Defog, because he does have Aurora Veil on his team as well. We've got a Registeel that is actually fairly... It's not offensive, but it 2-hit KOs a ton of important things that it's supposed to check. Focus Blast 2-hit KOs Stakataka, Ice Punch 2-hit KOs Lando Eye, HP Fire will 2-hit KO an uninvested Scolipede. I forget if that's after rocks or if that's just in general, but... And another interesting, he has an Alolan Persian. Clear Body blocks Parting Shot, so that's really neat. And Focus Blast will do a ton to it, so I can set up Stealth Rocks pretty safely with Registeel, and it doesn't really give up too much momentum, surprisingly. Next, we've got a Scarf Diggersby. I have Facade in case I get burnt by Mega Banette, but otherwise it's just a great revenge killer and helps me function outside of Trick Room because I'm not going to be able to keep it up constantly because I only have Musharna to set up Trick Room. So Diggersby is a nice glue to this team, nice revenge killer, and it's pretty powerful. His best normal answer is Stakataka, which gets absolutely destroyed by Earthquake, so that's pretty nice. And last, is kind of a glue to the team, we have Araquanid. Max HP, max attack, adamant means this is a nice wall breaker, but also it's still a nice defensive switch in. I can switch into Landorus on Earth Powers fairly well. I can take a hit from Scolipede, and I can do a lot of damage with this mon. So, getting into the battle, he brought a team of Alolan Persian, Alolan Ninetales, Landorus, Raichu, Alolan. That's kind of weird. I hate saying Alola after. Scolipede and Tapu Fini. So, a couple things that are nice to notice. He does not have Stakataka, which is fantastic for this. I know Trick Room can go in. He doesn't have any switch-ins to Camerupt except for Tapu Fini, which we are going to find out is Spidef, so that does make sense. That is his only way of stopping getting destroyed by it. And otherwise, I feel like this team actually has a really good matchup because he's brought a bunch of things that I can set up Trick Room on. I can set up Trick Room on Persian, on Ninetales, on Tapu Fini, and on Raichu to a lesser extent. So let's get into the battle here. I'm going to lead off with Musharna, as he is going to lead off with the Landorus. He's going to go turn 1 for the knockoff. I'm going to move this a little... Actually, no, normal is about the right speed. But it does a lot, which is unfortunate, and it does reveal he is physical. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I do get the Trick Room up here, and I'm going to be able to now Baton Pass right out into my Camerupt. And I know this thing's insane because it's getting one shot. But I was actually wrong. He does Parting Shot anyway, as I set up a sub, which I thought was not good. But I go for Earth Power to scout out how much damage it does. It does about 40%, so while it can take my hits, it's already in range of being 2-hit KO'd. But that's a free switch into Araquanid, which I didn't predict that double necessarily, but I knew it was possible. And I knew I could take some hits from Landorus if I needed to. So it was a pretty safe switch for me, and I did know Liquidation would be doing some decent damage to Tapu Fini because it is specially defensive, not Fizz Def. It's pretty much max def. It might have a little bit of Fizz Def, but it was pretty much max def. So he does U-turn, and that hurts because he is physical. But he's going to go out into Raichu, which I'm going to blow back with a Liquidation, but he is Sash, unfortunately. So he is going to double back out into Landorus, as I'm going to go into Diggersby, which is, I think this is a good situation here because I can easily two-hit KO this thing with Return, and I can live a hit from this, although I didn't expect what happens next. So I do catch him off guard with a Scarf Set, and I do click Return, but he does have Superpower, which destroys me. And while this is bad, Diggersby wasn't super crucial this game, so that's alright to get the damage off. And the -1 attack does let Araquanid come back in, and it's going to do a lot of damage to this Persian, as you see. But it's a free parting shot for him, so I go into Registeel to block the parting shot, as he does Foul Play, but I don't have any attack investments, so that's nice. And he does catch me here. He does taunt on my Stealth Rocks, but that's fine because here's where I blocked the parting shot because I didn't realize that's how that mechanic worked. And I'm going to fire off a Focus Blast and knock this thing out. That is great to not have to worry about parting shot. But he is going to go out into Landorus here, as my Shuka Berry is going to proc on his Earthquake. That's nice because that would have OHKO'd me there, and I'm going to knock it out with an Ice Punch. My prep on Registeel is fantastic this game. It is putting in so much work. And so, what does he even have to take this thing out? He does have Scolipede, which can set up on this, unfortunately. I am going to go for HP Fire, as it does reveal he does have a little bit of bulk, at least. So he's not 2-hit KO'd, which really worries me here. But he's going to go for Superpower, which is not great. It does lower his attack, but I wish he had Earthquake, which meant he might not have a way to hit Araquanid. But as I find out, he also has Rock Slide. So I know his last move is probably Mega Horn. So at this point, my only way to win is to go out into Rotom and beg that I can dodge a Mega Horn. Just beg, plead, hope that I can miss a Mega Horn. Or he can miss a Mega Horn. And it actually does happen. He does miss, as I am going to knock this thing out here with a Volt Switch. I'm going to be able to go right out into Musharna and set up my Trick Room, because everything on this team is easy setup for Trick Room. And while Veil would have been really annoying, he actually does just Blizzard. This turn actually works out perfectly, because he knocks me just into range of being knocked out from Hail, so I don't need to waste a turn on Baton Pass or Healing Wish. I can go right out into Mega Camera up the next turn, and I'm going to Fire Blast because Earth Power did not OHKO the Alolan Ninetales, and Rotom could 1v1 the rest of his team after Ninetales was gone. So here is some interesting plays here. This is where it is. We both are able to win. It just depends on our positioning here and his playing around Trick Room. Tapu Fini can beat the Camerupt, but Rotom can beat the Tapu Fini. But Ninetales can beat the Rotom, but Camerupt can beat the Ninetales. So it's all about who we get in when, and luckily I do have a little bit of an advantage on this because of Volt Switch on Rotom. But Trick Room is up still, which isn't quite as important right now. Yeah, I'm going to switch out to Rotom here. I'm going to easily be able to take the Scald. It's only going to do about 13%. That did nothing. That's totally uninvested. And so here, I believe I fire off a Thunderbolt. Yeah, he fires off Dangerous Madness. I fire off Thunderbolt, hoping to knock this thing out, or at least knock it into range. I wanted to get damage off on this thing because once it took more damage, now I don't need to predict with Earth Power versus Fire Blast. I can just fire off a Fire Blast, and it will knock Tapu Fini out anyway. But Trick Room is going to be gone in 2 turns, so basically I'm going to, at this point, know that I have to knock out the Tapu Fini with my Rotom. It has to be that way. So he does live there, the Thunderbolt, and I'm going to Volt Switch here because it covered two things. If he stayed in with Tapu Fini, it knocked him out and camera upped easily 1v1 the Ninetales. Or if he did what you just saw and he doubled out into Ninetales, I then get camera upped in to 1v1 that, and I basically win the game from there because I'm going to be able to come in, fire off a Fire Blast, and win the game. So I've pretty much won the game at this point. I eat that Blizzard easily, but I miss a Fire Blast, which at this point, it's awful. I'm not necessarily complaining about it because you know what? I had already lost the game before if I didn't dodge the Mega Horn, so I guess this balances out. It's still kind of unfortunate, and I still wish that I would have been able to connect that, but I guess I don't really have the right to complain about being hacked because I'm only in this position in the first place because I dodged a Mega Horn. So I'm just hoping he misses a Blizzard. Doesn't happen. So he connects one there. My only hope is, can Rotom dodge another one? Can Rotom dodge another one? Well, doesn't even bother. She's got Freeze Dry. So that is the game. We lose 2-0 to Josh. That was a great game. I had a ton of fun with this. I thought my prep worked out really nicely. It was a fun team. I really, really, really enjoyed this game. It's one of the most fun games I've actually had in a while. Mega Camera putting in a ton of work this game, though. It is really a monster if it's played right in the right matchups. You can't really bring it every week, but the weeks that it does well, it really goes in. As you saw, this team didn't have a whole lot for Mega Camera Up. It really didn't have any switch-ins besides Tapu Fini, and it didn't have a whole lot of ways to kill it either. So, congratulations to Josh. You played great. You really should have just beaten me with the Scolipede if I didn't dodge that, but it happens. Hacks happens. It ended up balancing out, so you still got the win. Awesome. And that is a battle there. If you guys like what the Oakland Azelfs are doing, make sure you like, subscribe, share, do what you do with the YouTube videos. I'm going to get on out of here and see you guys later.